Hey guys, I know I haven't uploaded a Fortnite video in a very long time and I'm so sorry about that, but now we are back and better than ever. I'm asking for a crazy like goal. If we could smash 1,000 likes in the first 24 hours, that would be absolutely insane. Let's get into it. So guys, we are 9 seasons deep here in Fortnite, and of course, there have been a ton of weapons that have been added into the game, and at the same time, there have been a ton of weapons that have been removed and vaulted here in Fortnite. In today's video, I wanted to go ahead and take a stroll down memory lane and bring you guys every single vaulted gun here in Fortnite. Now, before we truly do get started with today's video, I do want you guys to let me know right now down in the comment section below, what is your guys' all-time favorite gun to use in Fortnite? It could be a weapon that's currently in the game, or it can be a weapon that has since been removed. Whatever it may be, let me know what it is in the comment section below. So in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys every single weapon that has been vaulted from Fortnite, and it's going to be broken down into a couple of sections. Our first section, we've got the ranged weapons. After our ranged weapons, we've got our second section being the submachine guns, the third section being the pistols, the fourth section being sniper rifles, the fifth being explosives, the sixth being crossbows, and the seventh being shotguns. So to go ahead and get into today's video, we've got our very first section being the ranged weapons, and within the ranged weapons, we've actually got a couple of subsections, the first being the assault weapons. So in our assault weapons section, we've got the burst assault rifle. Now there are actually 5 vaulted versions of the burst assault rifle. Of course, we have got the classic uncommon burst assault rifle, the common burst assault rifle, and the rare burst assault rifle. Of course, these are OG weapons that were first added into Fortnite Battle Royale when the game first came out back in September of 2017. Now, the final 2 versions of the burst assault rifle include both the epic and the legendary variations. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've never actually been a huge fan of the burst assault rifles. Honestly, they just never really suited my playstyle, but I know a ton of people really like them, and I know a lot of people were sad to actually see them vaulted. Moving on to a couple of more weapons in the ranged weapons category that are in fact vaulted here in Fortnite. This includes the suppressed assault rifle, specifically both the epic and the legendary versions of the suppressed SCAR. Now, for some strange reason, the suppressed SCAR was extremely inaccurate, and that's extremely weird considering there are other suppressed assault rifles here in Fortnite that are extremely accurate, but for some strange reason, when it comes to the silenced SCAR, they were just very inaccurate, and I don't know about you guys, but I was not sad to see them vaulted here in the game. Moving on to more vaulted ranged weapons here in Fortnite, which I personally am not too sad that they're no longer in Fortnite. This includes the thermal scoped assault rifles, both the epic and the legendary versions. Moving on to some more vaulted weapons here in the ranged weapons category. This includes the light machine gun. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was never really a huge fan of this weapon. It was kind of cool when it was first added into Fortnite a very long time ago, but I didn't really like using it just because it took so long to reload the light machine gun. Moving on to a couple of more weapons in the ranged weapons category that have since been vaulted. This includes both the epic and the legendary variations of the heavy assault rifle. Now, of course, there are still other versions of the heavy assault rifle in Fortnite, being the uncommon, common, and the rare. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that the damage of both the epic and the legendary versions are actually still in the game. They have just sort of been shifted to the lower categories of the weapons. Continuing on to our final weapon in the ranged weapons category that has since been vaulted since the start of the game. This includes the epic scoped assault rifle. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I sort of see this weapon as a staple in the Fortnite community because if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the epic scoped assault rifle has been in the game since it first came out. So when it was vaulted, a lot of people were kind of sad, even though it really isn't all that great of a weapon. Moving on to section number 2, this of course includes our submachine guns, and to go ahead and start it off, our first set of submachine guns that have been vaulted is just the standard submachine gun. Now for those of you who don't know, there is actually a silenced version of all of these submachine guns currently in Fortnite, and when these were actually vaulted, I was personally super upset because I was never really a huge fan of using silenced weapons in Fortnite, so I had to sort of make the transition from using the non-silenced submachine gun over to the silenced submachine gun, and I can tell you guys right now, I am so happy that the silenced submachine gun is actually in Fortnite, because the silencer on the pre-existing submachine guns in Fortnite definitely make it super accurate. Moving on to our next set of submachine guns that have also been vaulted here in Fortnite, this is the machine pistol. Now the machine pistol, if I'm not mistaken, is another classic staple in the Fortnite community, because if I'm not mistaken, the machine pistol was first added into the game when Fortnite Battle Royale first came out all those months ago in September of 2017, and a lot of people were super sad to see the machine pistol removed and vaulted here in Fortnite. And of course, moving on to our final section of submachine guns that have been vaulted since the game first came out, this is the TAC submachine gun. And now for those of you who may have actually never played with the tactical submachine gun, I'm here to tell you guys it was by far one of the nastiest submachine guns to ever grace us here in Fortnite Battle Royale, and I'm honestly super surprised that the community did not vote to bring the TAC submachine gun back into Fortnite, but of course, hopefully in the near future, Epic Games will unvault the TAC submachine gun. Moving on to section number 3 of all of our vaulted weapons, these are the pistols, and to start it off, the 3 versions of the revolver have sadly been vaulted, and they were actually vaulted a pretty long time ago, but for those of you who don't know, the revolver was in the game when Fortnite first came out, so I personally see the revolver as sort of a staple in the Fortnite community. Now there was sort of a weapon that came after the revolver which was super similar, but honestly a lot worse. This is another vaulted weapon, being the 6-shooter. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely hated using the 6-shooter. It was probably one of the worst weapons to ever come to Fortnite, so I was definitely not sad to see the 6-shooter removed from the game. Now, in addition to the revolver being vaulted, we actually have sort of another variation of the revolver, being the scoped revolver, and again, I was honestly never a huge fan of the scoped revolver, so I really didn't use it all that much when it was in Fortnite, and when it was vaulted, I definitely was not upset that it was no longer in the game. Moving on to our final pistol that has been vaulted here in Fortnite, this is the legendary suppressed pistol, and again, a lot of people were actually sad to see this go, but if I'm not mistaken, the legendary suppressed pistol damage has actually just been transferred to the epic suppressed pistol. Moving on to our next section of vaulted weapons here in Fortnite, these are our sniper rifles, and I've said it a lot in today's video, but I'm gonna say it again. This sniper rifle was absolutely a staple in the Fortnite community. All 3 versions, of course, the bolt action sniper rifle, the rare, the epic, and the legendary were definitely classics, considering all 3 versions of this weapon were in Fortnite when the game first came out. Even though we now have suppressed versions of all of these and the damage is the exact same, I was super sad to see the unsilenced bolt action sniper rifle vaulted in the game. Moving on to our next section of vaulted weapons here in Fortnite, these are our explosives. The first 2 being the guided missile, and it's interesting because the guided missile was actually removed from Fortnite, then Epic Games reintroduced it and vaulted it again. Now, of course, I am definitely not sad to see the guided missiles go, because they were extremely overpowered the first time that they were added and then vaulted, and then the second time they were just really bad. So I am definitely not sad that the guided missiles are no longer in Fortnite. Moving on to the next set of explosives that have been vaulted here in Fortnite, this is the quad launcher. Now, whenever an enemy had a quad launcher, it was by far one of the most annoying things, considering they were just bombarding you and your teammates with quad launcher shots. So again, I am not sad to see the quad launcher vaulted. Moving on to section number 6, these are our crossbows, and we actually have 4 different versions of the crossbow that have been vaulted. The first includes both the rare and the epic variations of the standard crossbow. Moving on to the next crossbow, this is the Fiend Hunter crossbow that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe was added during the second annual Fortnite Mirrors event. And the third crossbow that has since been vaulted is the Cupid's crossbow, which was actually added a long time ago during the first Valentine's Day event in February of 2018. Moving on to our 7th and final section of vaulted weapons here in Fortnite. This includes our shotguns, and to go ahead and start it off, our first 2 vaulted shotguns here in Fortnite is the double barrel shotgun, both the epic and the legendary versions. The double barrel shotguns were extremely overpowered, and I think a lot of people in the community were sort of anticipating that they were going to be removed, and of course Epic Games did remove and vault them from the game. Moving on to our next set of shotguns that have also been removed and vaulted. This is the heavy shotgun, and I don't know about you guys, I was actually super sad to see the heavy shotguns removed from Fortnite because they were such a fun shotgun to use here in the game. Moving on to our third section of vaulted shotguns here in Fortnite, there are actually 5 of them, being the pump shotgun. Now, for those of you who have been playing Fortnite since the game first came out, you guys definitely remember that the uncommon or the gray and the common or the green pump shotguns were the classic OG shotguns. The green pump was by far the best shotgun in the game. It was so fun and so nasty. But of course, since then, Epic Games has decided to vault the gray, green, blue, purple, and gold versions of all of the pump shotguns. Moving on to the final shotgun, and of course the final weapon in today's video that Epic Games has vaulted since the beginning of Fortnite. This is the purple or the epic tactical shotgun. So guys, there you have it. That was every single gun that has been vaulted since the start of Fortnite. Let me know your thoughts about all of these vaulted weapons in the comment section below. And of course, if you guys do support me and you support the channel and you guys do plan on purchasing any skins or upcoming cosmetic items in the item shop, make sure that you guys go in and use my supporter creator code Swifterrs. Again, I wanted to go ahead and apologize for not uploading on my channel in a very long time, but if you guys would like to see additional videos here on my channel, let me know in the comment section below. Drop a like on today's video, and with all of that being said, I'll be sure to catch you guys later.